Back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So welcome to another market open stream. Today we have to talk about Bitcoin, Fed Chair Powell, rate hikes. Let's talk about all these things as Fed Chair Powell prepares for his speech at Jackson Hole today. Let's do this. Welcome. Look at what's going on today. U.S. market is looking pretty green as the market bell rings. It's looking pretty good so far, okay? But we know things can change really, really quickly, okay? Especially when Powell speaks. So this guy right here at around 10 a.m., so that's pretty soon. I think that may be Eastern time. I don't know what time. I think Eastern or so. If that's the case, it's pretty soon. Anyways, within an hour or so, he's going to be giving a speech at Jackson Hole. Right? It's not his usual FOMC meeting speech, but nevertheless, he's going to be speaking about the economy and whether or not more tightening is required, which means raising the Fed fund rate. Right? So. Right now, it's looking good, and here's why. The CME prediction for the next FOMC meeting or the next press release is still 80.5% saying no to another rate hike. Okay, so that's pretty good. So most analysts are thinking still there's no need for another rate hike. We're just going to stay where we are. And also the Treasury bonds and Treasury yields have been going higher and higher as well, which is also indication that Wall Street thinks that we're not going to get another hike. They rather put money elsewhere versus putting it into bonds, right? So these two definitely gives us hope for what he's going to say, which should be dovish, which means it's going to be good for the overall market. So a lot of people are thinking that Powell's not going to say anything scary. He's going to say his usual thing that, we're not down to 2%, right? And there's still more work to be done. However, it's a wait and see moment. It's not time to, keep accelerating, what has been done before, which is all the rate hikes, right? I think he's going to say more along those lines, like we got to wait and see. We got to get more economic data in. We got to see how inflation is next month or this month from this month's inflation being released next month. So we need to see all those things before he can decide, right? I think we're going to see more dovish tone or neutral tone, okay? Just say neutral tone versus the hawkish tone. Right, that's, I think, what we're going to see. Now, if I'm wrong, and he's still being all hawkish, like, no, we haven't done enough. We saw uptick on inflation last month, so it's too early to make that call. So, we need to continue to tighten more, right? I mean, if he says along those lines, that'd be bad. Then the market will probably dump, and that is not something we want right now, right? So, bottom line, we got to wait and see, but I do think he's going to be more dovish than hawkish with this, and he's just going to wait until the next FOMC meeting, which is September 20th, okay? So we got almost a full month. That's when he will decide, but right now it's looking pretty darn good. Now, eventually, what's going to happen is, what we're going through is considered quantitative tightening, okay? Meaning that he wants to tighten things up, tighten the economy. But eventually we're going to do the opposite, quantitative easing. When he has tightened too much and now he needs to spur up the economy or boost it in some way, right? That's when quantitative easing happens. And look at this. When quantitative easing happens, everything goes up. But you know what goes up the most? Bitcoin. You can clearly see. Everything goes up. Yes, retail, tech, S&P, bonds, SPACs, Bitcoin sensitive, whatever, like stocks that are related to Bitcoin. But you know what? Bitcoin outperforms every single one. And you know when quantitative easing is going to start? 2024, because that's when he will start cutting the Fed fund rate, right? From where we are, which is 5.25, 5.5, he's going to start cutting it back down. Because you can't have elevated rates forever. It's always a cycle, right? So, a reminder of what's to come, even though it's still a little scary, a little boring, but man, when things move, they really move. I've been saying that. And next year, we got the halving event. We got spot Bitcoin ETFs. We got Ethereum ETFs. And we still have trillions on the sidelines waiting to come in. And if we complement those things with quantitative easing, with rate cuts, okay, it's going to be explosive. As explosive as this, if not more. So think about that. In the meantime, JP Morgan sees limited downside for crypto markets. So again, people that are predicting Bitcoin could go to 12,000, 10,000, whatever. There's just not enough cases to support it. Okay, even JP Morgan is looking at the market and looking at the futures market as well and making the determination. There's just nothing to support it. There's limited downside. And what does that mean? That means it's a good time to be buying and accumulating. That's what it means, right? From a technical standpoint, right before this, right before Jackson Hole's speech, right? But if you look at it from a technical perspective, it's looking pretty good. You can obviously see we're bouncing off from a RSI perspective. We're bouncing off this trend line, right? Again, it just shows that we're on track. We're on track. We're doing good things. We're doing good things. And here's another one that's showing that Bitcoin breaking above the MA10 on a monthly scale. Okay, monthly scale. So when Bitcoin does this, it's usually very, very, very bullish, because the last two times this happened, that was when Bitcoin started running up, right? Recovering, headed into a new bull market, right? That's exactly where we are right now. And lastly, look at this. Only 5.8% of Bitcoin in circulation sits on exchanges right now. Think about that. Now, the exchange reserves has gone down to as low as 2017 levels, okay, and continues to go down. Seems like every single month it keeps dropping. All these things I've been talking to you about, like mysterious whales accumulating, right? It's having an effect on the overall circulation supply. They do it OTC again. OTC is off the order book, so you don't see immediate price spike when these guys are buying hundreds of millions or billions of Bitcoin. But it is moving Bitcoin from the overall circulation. So think about it. Of all the Bitcoins out there in existence, which isn't too much if you think about it, like 19.7 million, and most of that is lost. Not most of it, a lot of it is lost, and most of it is held, right? So right now, there's less than 6% of that sitting on exchanges. So imagine as we go through this next halving cycle, and then we go through another halving cycle, by that time, we'll probably see 1% of Bitcoin in circulating and sitting on exchanges. It's going to start dwindling really, really quickly as demand increases and supply continues to go down, right? Again, if you don't care about anything else, you don't care about macro factors, you don't care about technicals, you don't care about fundamentals, you don't care about anything, just know this. Price goes up because of supply and demand. Demand keeps on going up and supply keeps going down, right? It's that simple, and eventually the price will catch up to what I'm saying right now, right? So bottom line is there's just so much goodness to Bitcoin, and so much more will be coming, right? Here's another good thing about Bitcoin and crypto altogether. Hashkey is going to start trading in Hong Kong August 28th. Now, this was hyped up before that Hong Kong was going to open up crypto trading, right? Which is great. But what wasn't really reported was the fact that there was no exchanges that actually got all regulatory approval to do so. That's why you don't see like Coinbase in Hong Kong yet, because they're still trying to get their licenses and approvals and stuff. But Hashkey, I believe, is one of the first ones to get it. So now citizens in Hong Kong and other regions can start buying Bitcoin and Ethereum in Hong Kong. And soon you go see a number of other exchanges get there. In fact, according to this article, there's like, how many? There's 80 crypto firms right now. 80 that's trying to open up. So there's definitely a lot. And we know there's a lot of money also in Asia, in China, right? Imagine all of them also investing in 2024 with everything else. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really awesome. All right. Outside of everything with Jackson Hole and Bitcoin, we got a little XRP news. So we know SEC is still fighting Ripple. We have another lawyer that makes his argument that this case is going to end soon because the SEC really has they can't really say anything anymore, right? Based on the ruling from Judge Torres about XRP not being a security, also, the sales of XRP in the secondary market does not constitute as a security sale. I mean, based on those things, I mean, really, they just don't have any argument to continue this lawsuit against, Ripple. It just doesn't make any sense, right? But outside of this, a couple other things that's actually quite interesting. XRP Ledger may be getting side chains going soon. Okay, so they just did an audit on something, what they call XLS 38D, which is basically a cross-chain bridging mechanism, and it just got audited, which means, all these other chains that have side chains, right, and inter-chain communication, that's what this is leading towards. So XRP Ledger can soon get side chains, and all the side chains will be able to communicate among each other and with the main ledger chain. Interesting. Never heard that before. And then also, their CTO, David Schwartz, is tweeting all these weird cryptic tweets or zeets. That still sounds so weird to me. Zeets, I think. I think you call it zeets or something. Anyways, I'm going to just still refer to it as tweets. Doing crazy tweets like this. 277 trillion, is the smallest number that goes in 11. So what does that have to do with 11? There's something coming up, 11 or $11 confirmed. No one knows, but there's something that has to do with 11, or maybe nothing, and he's just trying to troll everyone. I don't know. But yeah, there's I think the bridging aspect, the sidechain aspect to XRP Ledger is quite interesting. And if the SEC drops its case, well, that's even better for XRP, right? All right. That is pretty much it. Bitcoin is still going sideways, waiting for Jackson Hole, as the entire market is. But right now, NASDAQ is up, Dow's up, S&P is up, everything's up, so it's looking pretty good. Let's do some Q&A. All right. Happy Friday, everyone. Today is Friday. I double checked. I will triple check. Yes, it is Friday. Sold my $50 worth of Pepe. Hopefully you guys caught my video last night about the team that's possibly getting ready to rug. But they mysteriously sold off $15 million worth of Pepe, which normally would be fine, but they did it in a very secretive way. They actually changed their multi-sig wallet from needing 8 signatures down to 2, which means that they're decreasing security. Maybe they're trying to bypass some of the other devs or founders, right? They started selling, but you can see Pepe is down 17% today. And Shiba is still holding. So be careful about Pepe. Crypto King, are you buying the Pepe dip? No, I know you wrote that before. I just said what I said. No, I think everyone should get out of Pepe right now. When the devs are secretly dumping, that's not a good thing. It's no longer just like a meme coin. A lot of founders of meme coins, yeah, they don't, they might not know how high it's going to go. And normally they just they just leave it there, But with Pepe's, I don't know. Maybe with Pepe, everyone figured the same thing. Whoever the devs are will just hold on to their Pepe and, just keep it there forever. And it's okay to sell. But the thing is, they did it in a secretive way, right? Hoping that people wouldn't notice. I don't know. There's just something off about that. ETH needs to dump to 500. It's too expensive at 1500. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Even when Bitcoin fell to 15,000 earlier this year, Ethereum was not at 500. So I don't see that happening. Danny, what will you do different in the next bull run? Honestly, not much different than this current one. I made sure this last one that we went through, 2021, right, and beginning of 2022, I said the one thing that I regretted from earlier runs that I wish I changed was having enough cash on the side, right? So this time around, this last one, I made sure I had enough cash on the side. So really, it's going to be no different this time around. If you have the ability to keep DCAing and buying over an extended period, especially like crypto winter, then you really have no worry. The problem is, for most people, is they don't. They put all their money in, and it's locked in. So when things go down, they hate it. There's no ability to dollar cost average down, right? And then they eventually sell it. And there's other mistakes include, using credit cards or mortgages or equity to buy crypto. That, of course, not good. You're bleeding out through interest that you're paying. A lot of people put in more money than they can lose, right? That's no good. But I think the biggest thing that I did was making sure I have cash on the side. And this time around, same thing. Maybe make sure I have more cash on the side. So next cycle down, when we go through crypto winter, I'll be able to accumulate more. What's your prediction for the top of ETH? Ooh. That depends on how high Bitcoin goes. If Bitcoin could hit 200,000, I don't see why ETH can't hit 20,000, 20, 25, maybe off chance 30,000, but I don't think it's going to hit that high. But I think ETH can realistically hit 20,000 if Bitcoin could hit 200,000. I think that's pretty easy. Am I following F1? No, not a F1 guy. Let's see. If Binance is going to go bankrupt, then the next bull run will be canceled. No. Simple answer. No. I think Powell will speak in 12 minutes. Let's hope I'm right, that he says a whole bunch of nothing, remains dovish, and the markets will rally. Do exchange tokens suffer this cycle? What are your thoughts? Price recovery target for SushiSwap? Well, that's not really an exchange token. That's a DEX token. That's a governance token. SushiSwap itself has gone through a lot of up and downs, mostly downs. So I'm not too hopeful for SushiSwap token recovering back to all-time highs and moving forward, because they bankrupted themselves. They got sold out to other, I don't know who took them over. Another team took over. There was a lot of stuff that happened. So now exchange tokens themselves, other ones, like all the exchanges have their own tokens. I think those will go up as the market gets better because volume increases and those exchanges are going to start making a lot more money again. CRO, Binance, KuCoin, yeah, like those could definitely recover as those exchanges get more volume, start making more money. Yes. Brian D, no, I'm not sending letters of support to SBF. No. Are you bullish on CarTC? No, I'm not. Ratco. First of all, I don't think you've been asking that every single stream. And second of all, if you have, I've already answered. Cadena, neutral to bearish. Flux, neutral to bullish. Too much bad stuff has happened with Cadena. So I'm not nearly as bullish on them as before. In fact, I'm more neutral and bearish on them. And Flux, I'm more neutral bullish on them because they're pushing to AI. What's my day job? I have none. This is what I do. In case you haven't picked that up. Thoughts on Harmony? I'm completely off the Harmony bandwagon. Again, too many mistakes. They're hack. They pushed all their dApps out, right? They wouldn't give them grants, the promised grants that they said they would. Yeah. House update, yeah, Flash Gordon. It's been a while. There's a lot of developments, or a lot of progress. So I'll probably make one this weekend. Mark Danger, I have an F8. In fact, I just went to the dealership, the Ferrari dealership yesterday. He had a little gift for me. It was like a model car of my F8, but it was configured exactly the same way, which is really cool. But I had a tour yesterday, looked at all the stuff. They had a Ferrari F50 in the shop to do maintenance work, and they had to completely remove the rear end to take the engine out. It was kind of crazy. Like a F50 is like worth what, 3, 4, 5 million now. So that's wild. But it's always nice to see all the cool Ferraris they have there. I was looking at it. This was, I mean, it's still unreasonable for most, but they had a Ferrari FF there for reasonably, it's reasonably priced. It was like 138,000. In case you don't know, FF is like a hatchback. It has all-wheel drive, okay, and it still has a V12, 650 horsepower V12. So if you think about it, you're getting a gigantic V12, which sounds amazing. You get the utility of a hatchback and all-wheel drive. You could daily drive that. But it'd still be silly to drive a Ferrari around all year round. But still, you could daily drive that thing, and you wouldn't have to worry as much as any other Ferrari that's $2, $3, $4, $5, $600,000. Roba, appreciate that. Is there a way to get rid of all your spam comments like the AD200T? No, there isn't. If you find a way, you let me know, because there's a new one every single day or week. So, and I don't even see why those spammers are even bothering. No one is like actually typing that in anywhere, so I don't even get it. Have I ever owned a Honda with VTEC? No, I've driven the old NSX, so I know what VTEC feels like. It kicks in at a higher RPM. It's almost like a turbo boost. And the exhaust changes note too. It's kind of cool. I want an F40, would swap a Honda engine. If you had an F40, you would certainly not do that. That would be ridiculous. John Legend, according to the guy I was talking to, my sales guy, like you have to, when you do maintenance on that, I'm not sure what that means. They have to replace the belts or whatever, the water pump. In order to take out the engine, they have to take out the rear end just comes off. So the F50 was just like in half. It's kind of wild. Yeah, the FF was definitely not a car a lot of people liked, but it still looks like a Ferrari. I don't think it looks bad at all. In person, looks way better than on paper. And if you think about it, you could get a FF, and he was saying, you could get a 2-year warranty from Ferrari for under $7,000. So you're paying like $3,500 a year. Some FFs are notorious for having this ECU problem, PDU problem that affects the transmission, right? So if you could get a used one under 150, you get that 2-year warranty, right? You could use that as a really cool daily driver. Even in the snow and rain, you don't have to worry about it. I think that's a pretty good deal. What coin are you most bullish on when the bull run starts? Just Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin starts moving, like I think it will, then everything else is going to move. That's really it. Bitcoin will carry everything. Dave, if people are asking about cars, I'm going to answer. And I can't stand people, unfortunately I have to call you out, people that get so triggered by car comments that you have to comment about it. Yes, I know it's a crypto channel, but it's live chat. And I'm going to answer who I want to answer. So chill. What advice would you give to your younger self when you first started crypto? Have cash on the side and not try to trade too much. I've said this before, all the tradings that I've done, even now, I think I lose more on trades. I've made way more simply by holding. And everyone else I've talked to that made serious money with crypto is all about buying and holding, buying early and holding until the top, right? Until a point that's much higher. So I would tell myself, don't try to outsmart the market, don't trade, have enough cash on the side to be able to DCA through the bad times. That's it. That's what I tell you guys right now. DCA, accumulate, hold, that's it. Are we watching a Powell speech together? No, I don't want to sit through that. I do enough FOMC meetings, so it should be on like now. So I'll let you guys watch that if it starts maybe in 5 minutes. Maybe it did start already. 10:05. There's 4 minutes. So I guess I'm going to go in 4 minutes and let you guys watch it and see what happens. Do you think Flux can make it into the top 10 crypto? No, I don't think so. I mean, they are a L1, but they don't have smart contracts, right? Which means that you can't have a lot of cool dApps like all the other L1s out there. They're primarily focused on cloud computing and sharing resources, right? So they're pushing into AI, which is exciting. But I don't think they can go into top 10. No, I have not been watching a new Star Wars show. I tried to watch Endor, and I thought it was incredibly boring, and I shut it off. And I still think it's weird that they have a show on a side character like that. It makes no sense. I have not watched anything on Disney Plus in a while. I think I'm going to cancel it. But I did find out you get Showtime free on Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus has a lot of great shows. But now they have Showtime on there, so I've been watching Billions, which is one of my favorite shows, on Paramount Plus. That's just give you guys a heads up on that. All right, guys. I'll let you guys watch Jackson Hole in 2 minutes with Fed Chair Powell. But you know what? Overall, I think he's going to say a whole lot of nothing. More neutral, more dovish. I think the market predicts that too, which is why Treasury yields have gone up. But we'll see. We'll see. Overall, Bitcoin is still doing its thing, still trending upwards, and there's so little left. So make sure you grab some before it's all gone. Okay? Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.